Hey everyone, I'm Joshua Orro, the Mustang Prince, and welcome to Mustang Prince Oral Reports. Now last time, we took a look at Animal Logic's Oscar-winning champion, Happy Feet, which I praised for its animation, soundtrack, story, and characters. However, when 2011 was approaching its fall season, some people were feeling kind of skeptical when a sequel was announced, while several others were feeling very surprised. And me, well, I was feeling pretty curious. But let's get into this sequel and I'll tell you all about it. Released on November 18th, 2011, the movie is Happy Feet 2. And yes, that's how they wrote the 2 for the title. Not a number, not Roman numerals, just the word 2. Anyway, let's get started. Mumble, the master of tap, has a very unusual problem. His son Erik is charophobic, or reluctant to dance. So, Erik runs away from home and encounters the mighty Sven, a penguin who can fly. Poor Mumble can't compete with Erik's unusual new role model, but when things get worse, when the world is shaken by powerful forces, Erik gets a chance to see his father's true colors as Mumble gathers all creatures, great and small, to set things right. So, what do I think of the movie? Well, like the first film, I didn't see it in theaters, though I wanted to, but after renting it from Netflix and getting my own DVD copy, I gotta say, it was enjoyable. Yeah, it's not better than the original, but it's a much better movie than what Image Movers gave us that same year. But, unfortunately, despite the fact that the movie got $150.4 million against its $135 million budget, it became a box office bomb. But let's move on to Mustang notes. Like the first movie, the director of the film is George Miller. And to me, I think he did a good job doing the sequel, but honestly, it could have been a little bit better. Also, aside from his now shut down Dr. D Studios, Kennedy Miller Mitchell from Sydney, Australia, joined in to produce the movie. The studio responsible for the CGI animation is once again Animal Logic. And in my opinion, they've really improved since the first film, even down to rendering what snow looks like in a microscopic perspective. Still, they need to work on humans a bit. Also, in my opinion, the most intense part of this movie is when we witness this huge iceberg shifting towards Emperor Land during an earthquake, trapping the penguins in the process. By the way, nowadays, Antarctica is going through way worse problems than iceberg shifts. Please, people, for the sake of our planet, please stop global warming. Now let's talk about the music and songs. Now, like the first film, John Powell is responsible for the movie's score, and there are a list of new songs throughout this movie, but here are some that I did enjoy throughout this film. Aside from the opening medley, there's Papa Mau Mau, Dragnostia Dinte, Rawhide, Under Pressure, We Are the Champions, and Bridge of Light. So now that we got Mustang notes out of the way, let's move on to the characters and the voice actors who brought them to life. The main character and master of tap, Mumble, is once again voiced by Elijah Wood. Best known as Frodo Baggins from the Lord of the Rings trilogy, along with Deep Impact and 9. Mumble's role in this movie is similar, but different from the first film. He's now a father and has a family to take care of, but he's still got that determined attitude that he had in the first film. However, the only flaw with Mumble is he still has his down feathers. If you don't know what I'm talking about, in the first film, while Mumble still had his down feathers as an adult, he lost a lot of them after being abducted by humans. But in this film, it looks like Mumble has grown them back, which is really messed up in my opinion. Mumble's wife, Gloria, is this time voiced by Alicia Beth Moore, aka Pink. To me, Pink does a really phenomenal job voicing Gloria, and again, I loved her Bridge of Lights song, which not only put me in tears, but it really does show her motherly love to Erik. Also, I think Gloria is a really tough character in this film, due to the fact that she smacked a skua for attempting to eat one of her students. Next up are the Adelie Penguin, Ramon, and the Guru, Lovelace. Both voiced by the brilliant Robin Williams. These guys haven't changed a bit. Ramon is still the charismatic Casanova, and Lovelace is still the wise and loudmouth mentor. However, in this movie, Ramon is looking for a female to share a relationship with, and Lovelace now wears a colorful sweater that some humans gave him when they rescued him from an oil spill, and since then, he's been partnered with Sven. Also to note, this was the last animated movie that Robin Williams voiced in before he passed away in 2014. We also have Noah, the Elder Penguin, again voiced by Hugo Weaving. In this movie, Noah is seen more as a supporting character, having accepted dancing as the penguin way of life. He keeps the nation intact while being trapped by the Doomberg, and he never loses hope. Noah is also devoted to protecting his beloved nation through all the rough times. Plus, I like the scene where Noah, along with Miss Viola, Seymour, and Gloria, are rooting for Mumble and the kids to help them get out of Emperor Land. Our first new character is Mumble and Gloria's son, Erik, voiced by Ava Akers, who got to be in ABC's Once Upon a Time, along with When Marnie Was Here, and the Angry Birds movie. Man, how could Ava degrade herself? Anyway, I think Erik is a very relatable and an adorable character. Plus, the reason why Erik is charophobic is because I think it's because he's shy. Plus, Erik has apparently been known to get frustrated and not know how to calm himself. When he meets Sven, he looks to him as his hero, but later, he notices that his father Mumble is his true hero. Also, in my opinion, I think Erik's opera song is a very strong and powerful one. Next up are Erik's best friends, Atticus, voiced by Benjamin Flores Jr., whom I've talked about in my blog of Hey Arnold, the Jungle Movie, and Boadicea, voiced by Maeve Campbell, best known from the Worst Witch TV series. I really like these two kids. Atticus is a catchy rapper, just like his father Seymour, who in this movie is voiced by Common, and he's really quick to defend Erik. Bo, on the other hand, is said to be Erik's girlfriend, and she seems to understand him better than the other penguins. Plus, I think Bo and her mother, Miss Viola, share a strong bond due to their yodeling. Plus, I just love Bo's British accent. So adorable. Our next character is Sven the Puffin, voiced by Hank Azaria, who during the same year got to be the villainous chick Carlos in Illumination's Hop and Gargamel in the Smurfs. In my opinion, I think Sven is a great character due to his nobility and his honesty, despite the fact that he lies about being a flying penguin, and he's really funny and flirty. Plus, Hank's Scandinavian accent that he gives Sven makes me think of his role as Bartok from Don Bluth's Anastasia. But for those of you who have weak stomachs, don't stare at the stitches on his beak. Next is Brian the Beachmaster, a giant elephant seal voiced by Richard Carter, who got to be in Babe Pig in the City, Mad Max Fury Road, Our Lips Are Sealed, and The Great Gatsby. While this character doesn't really have a big role in the movie, I think Brian makes a great new friend and ally for Mumble after he was rescued from a hole in the ice. Also, while Brian may seem grumpy and intimidating, I think he's a strong and tough character, and I like the scene where he and the other elephant seals help Mumble, Erik, and the other Adelis save Emperorland. Next up are Bill and Will the Krill, voiced by Brad Pitt and Matt Damon. To me, these two are basically like Scrat from the Ice Age franchise, due to them not contributing anything to the movie's plot and not interacting with any of the characters. Even though they do dance underneath Emperorland with the other Krill at the end of the movie. And also, in my opinion, unlike Scrat, they did make me chuckle a bit, despite the fact that they're useless here. And finally, we have Ramon's love interest, Carmen, voiced by Sofia Vergara. And now let's move on to my final words. Overall, Happy Feet 2 is not a great sequel, but it was still very entertaining. It still has good CGI animation. The main characters like Mumble, Erik, Atticus, and Bo are great, along with Ramon, Lovelace, and Sven. The new songs in this movie are great to listen to, and it makes me want to sing along and tap my feet. However, a few parts of the movie could have been written better. Other scenes were a tad slow. The earthquake and iceberg shift bits were very intense, and there were some adult humor like Erik pissing himself and a skua taking a poop on Noah. And of course, the talking krill were unnecessary. But despite some of those, this is still a movie that deserves a watch. I give this film a 75% out of 100. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to join me next time for another Animal Logic movie. Mustang Power!